listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Thank you very much for your picture from our
This was the Ijo country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic emphasis was at the government college to Delhi. And
go gather, destroy their food. Make security camp and that other camp, Togo camp, no compensate everybody.
Sometimes. Today our focus will be on the style of J.P. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point as more dancer.
Some lives are meaningful, some are empty. With too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after stories, earthly adventures and more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.
Welcome once more to my art corner. I am Arrey Ivo, and I'll be trying to paint some nice things that happen in our society in the form of an abstract painting. Many people feel abstract paintings should be difficult, but sometimes they are simple and just stay like that. I'm trying to suggest that someone is responsible for harvests and for continuity. And there are subtle indications of who the person might be, and I leave it to your eyes to see how it is evolving, and by the end of the day we shall now know who this person or these persons are in our society. Yeah, and I think this will do, and this will do here, and so we're building up something, and we have an observer somewhere around here, probably, to report. In Africa, societal reporting is still very important. It's not lost in the manipulations of the greater media sometimes, but it is in some areas. So probably need more than one observer to bear us testimony of the contribution of women to the survival of the African society. Now, my intention is to depict harvest as a continuous cycle of life, and therefore I'll be placing some harvested people here. These people can be fruits, depending on what you think, but I wouldn't leave them to be just fruits. I will make them to have a life of their own by making them to have faces. Therefore, you and you, 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 you and you is your life. And maybe you're hanging out of a container. You need to have some hands. You need to have some that go up to clamor for understanding of yourself. And now we need to add color to the board. But then I have to build on the fact that women control the household in a subtle and nice manner, with a symbol of an African village here. So the painting will now progress into colors from here. And we will be continuing the painting by adding color into the craft. And I'm starting with red and blue. It's quite thick there, and I need to heighten it with some brightness, which is here. Painting should be able to evolve into different shades based on the message. Now it's coming up. So we have to paint the cradle. I'm trying to paint it with the color of some African soils, and maybe we should give it a symbolic green as well, for the kind of things that come from the cradle, like food, like biodiversity and so on, you know. And a bit of blue might just seal the cradle with some life. But that blue is kind of like very deep, so I have to highlight it with a bit of white in it to make it less gloomy. Yeah, the cradle's there. Now the face is in the cradle. And since it is diverse, we have to make sure that the faces also look different. And maybe we add more of red to add both vitality and to guys are there. Yep. So the painting is evolving and I'm happy about the evolution. So now we think it's possible for us to paint the greater aspect of the painting. So you see the painting is evolving, and a bit of blue here that we're going to put to blend. And so we are painting the chorus, the observers of the drama in Africa, the witnesses of the role of women in greater society. They are breadwinners, farmers, caretakers, caregivers, and probably without necessarily having to radicalize relationships between other subpopulations. It is great that such work that women do is celebrated in the artworks that we do, the songs that we write, and the poetry that we come up with in Africa and the diaspora, so that we can be learning devices to other systems and cultures that may not know the depth of the understanding that we have about our great women here. So the painting is coming out. And we're sure that at the end of the day we will have what we're looking for in our symbols within the painting. So you see the painting is evolving. We are getting to the nightfall of the painting, not the nightfall as meaning darkness, but when activities have to end. So in Africa generally people have to retire sometimes at night, typical village. And so in the diction of many people, night has been symbolic of the end of any project, except for those traditions that have to take place in the night, like some masquerades, some dances that used to occur and that still occur at night. In this painting, we're about to wrap up things here, and making the colors to blend is also a symbolic aspect of the painting, and it's part of what I'm trying to do now. A bit of yellow come in here, and some white. Yeah. So, a painting of the role of women in the harvest and development of Africa in abstraction is now complete, and I'm just trying to spread colors to be even and to occur in different parts of the board. Thank you. So you see what I've been able to depict here. A bread basket of people harvested from the works of the woman. As you can see, she is the main power in many African villages and so on. And these are observers that bear testimony to the fact that she works and she contributes a lot to the well-being of society. So I hope you enjoy the colors and you were happy watching me paint this sport. Thank you very much. It has been Arrey Ivo. You can always contact me if you're interested in these paintings.
Thank you very much. And you just listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Thank you very much for your pictures of our young
was the Ijo country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who went to several schools to make your academic education as government college to Delhi and
Go gather, destroy their food. Make cultivated camp. And that other camp, Tongo camp, you compensate everybody.
generation sometimes. Today I'm focusing on the style of J.C. Clark, the poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point Akmo dancer.
Some lives are meaningful, some are empty. Lives that are meaningful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after some of these earthly adventures are no more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.